Hey guys, it's Kat and I'm back today with a kind of brand, not feature, I don't know what I'm going to call it, but I'm sort of going through the products that I've tried from Colourpop, and I'm letting you know what I think about the products, what I recommend, what I would recommend to miss, and just my experiences with the brand as a whole. I haven't actually done many reviews except for sort of capsule collections, so like the Kathleen Lights collection, the Laura Lee collection late last year. I haven't really done any reviews on Colourpop because when I buy things, I kind of buy things that have been around for ages. I don't have any full collections. So I thought this is a good way to sort of give you my thoughts on the range as a whole. Not that I've tried everything, but what I've tried and also what I would recommend and what I would tell you to skip. Alright, so I've got a lot of Colourpop and a lot of this, no, I would say a few lip products are in handbags and stuff and just like around. So this is not everything, but this is most things that I've got from Colourpop. So it fits a whole box. I've got a lot of stuff from Colourpop. Alright, so if you're not familiar with Colourpop, they're a very affordable brand. So their lip products are around $5 or $6 US generally. They're, I think, highlighters and sort of like blush and bronzer products, they're like $8. I think their eyeshadows, their individual eyeshadows are also like $6 or something. Eyeshadow palettes are like $15 or $16, so they're all very affordable. And they used to have very expensive shipping, but about a year ago they have free international shipping over orders of $50. So it's become a lot more accessible worldwide. Colourpop are not only well known for really affordable products, but they always bring out new collections literally like every week. On Beauty News, we talk about new Colourpop releases every single week. So they do really churn out the new collections, new shades all the time. They're often bringing out new products. They've got concealers, they had nail polishes, they've got brushes. They're really expanding on the range. And they also do a lot of collabs with various influencers or just people and stuff. So yeah, there's always something new and something sort of exciting from Colourpop, which is why I think they've not slowly but very quickly become a really well-known brand. Also, what I particularly like about them is that they seem to put all their money in, not all their money, but most of their money in actually creating decent products, and the packaging's pretty, like, it's standard. It's not particularly fancy, so it feels like you're not spending all your money just on the packaging. The quality of the products for the price is really, really great. So I'm going to start with the top things that I love from Colourpop and that I recommend and often reach for over higher end products. So I might have a drawer full of a particular product and I often go for the Colourpop ones over anything else. And the first thing I want to talk about is their highlighters. So I've got a few of them here. They're in these sort of pots, and most of Colourpop's like products that they started out with were this kind of moussey formula. So it's more like a mousse to powder finish, same as their eyeshadows. They do have some like pressed powder products since releasing these, but I still love these the most. So in my lap here, I've got 9 of them, and there are some that are way better than others. So I do want to mention that, but I recommend these to everyone because they are so great. I'm wearing them on my cheeks today, but what I love about them is that you can apply them with a brush really easily. You can apply them with your fingers. This one's a really popular one called Flexitarian. This one you can see has cracked, like I think I dropped it or something, but because it's a moussey formula, so you can leave like fingerprints in it, you can just mold it back into shape. But these are really easy to apply with your fingers, or you can apply them with a brush. I find applying them with a brush, really no problem. I have oily skin and I always set my skin really well with like a mattifying powder, and I find even applying these over the top is no problem. It doesn't disrupt my foundation because it's not wet. It's just like it's a weird kind of yeah, mousse to powder finish that doesn't disrupt your makeup. So this is Flexitarian. You can see it's just a gorgeous highlighter that's quite intensely swatched, or you can blend it out. So if you want it more intense, I would pat it on with your fingers. Otherwise, you can really just apply it with a brush, but you can see it gives that gorgeous wet look. These are really, really beautiful, and so many times I will go to the shops, or I'll go to a makeup counter, or I'll go to Sephora or something, and they'll say, oh, I love your highlighter, what is it? And I'm like, Colourpop. So like, you're surrounded by these really expensive highlighters, and the one that people are like complimenting you on are these ones. So this is Flexitarian, so it's known for being a really beautiful, like I said, just a kind of wet sort of look, really intense, really gorgeous. There are different finishes with the highlighters, and I don't really know what they mean. So for example, I've got one called Whipped. You can buy some of these in packs as well, so you can buy them individually, or often you can buy them in like 3 packs, and it makes them a bit cheaper. But this is Whipped, and this is a tie-dye one, so that's only because there's a couple of colors. It's hard to see once you've kind of used it, but there's a couple of colors in there to create. You can see when I go like that, there's like some bronzes and some pinks, and you can see that this one, let's swatch it here, it does have a little bit of a bronzy rosy color to it, but it also has a pink shimmer through it. So that one, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's got a lot of pink, the highlighter is actually pink, but it's got a sort of rose gold sort of base. It's actually really, really pretty, especially as like a blush topper. So that one's called tie-dyed. Oh, I just took a chunk. And when you're not looking and you gouge out a chunk, you can just put it back in place. Yay! So that's a tie-dye. I understand why it's called a tie-dye. This is a satin. This one's called Frosted. So it's like, it doesn't have as much of a sheen in it. So I don't know if you can see, but it is that same sort of moussey base, but it has a more of a satin finish. So it's not as highly reflective, but it's still very, very soft. Would give that gorgeous kind of glow, but not a really crazy intense reflective glow like this. So they do have different finishes, and you can sort of gauge roughly what you're getting, but the most confusing one and the most common one that I found is Pearlized. So Pearlized is like Flexitarian, which I showed on my hand. So Flexitarian is more of like a champagne. It does have a very light highlight, but it's also got like a warmth to it, so a bit of yellow to it. Another really popular one is Smoke and Whistles, which is a similar thing, but instead of it being gold, it's a little bit more peachy. So if you prefer more of a cool toned look, so more of a silvery look, you'd want Smoke and Whistles. But I'll just compare them on the hand. So these are the pearlized ones that I really like because they're very intense. You can blend them out to make them a little bit more natural. So like this one, you can blend it out and it just looks like a wet look finish. Really, really, really beautiful look. And here I've got Flexitarian, Smoke and Whistles, Wisp, which is more of a gold. And then this one down here is Might Be, which is more of a like a rosy bronze. I'm actually wearing that on my cheeks together with Wisp, just sort of like mixed in together. So yeah, I'm wearing those two. So they're really, really beautiful, but what is confusing is this is probably one of the most popular formulas, but then I also have 3 from that same formula, which is Pearlized, and I hate these. These are really, really bad. So I think you have to really look at good close-up swatches to figure out what you're getting, because these ones are sort of colored highlighters. I've got Periloon, which is green. I've got Honeymoon, which is like a purple, and I have Over the Moon, which is pink. And these are not much of a color. They're just more of sort of chunky sparkle. So I'm not too sure if you can see, but these are all smooth with no glitter in them. And then you just get these ones that are just sparkle. You can see it there. So if those were labeled differently, I would probably be more confident buying more of them online. But those kind of 3 really stopped me from buying the highlighters. I love the highlighters that I have, but those 3 colorful ones being just glitter. Yeah, you do have to be careful about which ones you get, and so I'd recommend looking at some good swatches before you buy them. Also, I find that the colors online look a little bit different to the colors when you actually get them, but the highlighters are gorgeous. They give the most beautiful intense effect, but also not emphasize skin texture, not lift foundation, and not looking too sort of like I don't know, over the top. It just looks beautiful. So I love the highlighters and I recommend them to anyone that wants a decent highlighter. Even if they say my budget is 50 bucks, I will say, try Colourpop, they're really good. The next thing that I really love from Colourpop and I reach for over other similar products is their ultra glossy lips. So these are lip glosses and I've got a few of them. I think I've got another one in my handbag. So yeah, I've got more. And I've mainly gone for nude ones, as you can see, because they're the lip glosses that I wear. But they do have different finishes. So these are all sort of cream finishes. This is called Cream. This is a sheer. I don't know what this is because I don't know. I think it's an old one. And this is, I think, more of a glittery one. So they do have different finishes, and they've got heaps of different colors and whatnot. But these are really comfortable. They're not sticky. They're really, really gorgeous. This one from the Laura Lee collection, which has like some like it's like a clear gloss with like champagne kind of shimmer in it. It's so beautiful on the lips just on its own or just over the top of another color. Really, really gorgeous. But these cream ones I just have in my handbag all the time because they are so comfortable and really, really flattering. They're not sticky. They're really cheap. You get like so many choices of colors and different nudes. You can see the difference between a sheer and a cream. So the cream has more pigmentation. I just think they're really, really great lip glosses and there's no point spending any more money than a couple of bucks on these because they work so well. Some of them have a slight scent, some of them don't. So they're just really basic, awesome products. The next products that I will reach for over other similar sort of products are actually their Super Shock shadows. So I've got a bunch of these. I often buy them in 4 packs. They often have packs and they have them on sale, but these are just some examples of them. So once again, they're that moussey sort of consistency. My oldest one is Nillionaire, which is this one here. It's a metallic one. It hasn't dried out, so I've had it for a couple of years now, or year and a half, and a lot of people say that they dry out. Hasn't dried out yet, but I would recommend twisting the packaging quite well and even storing it upside down if you're a bit worried. Or I store mine in a drawer so they don't get much direct sunlight, so they don't really dry out. But there are different finishes. These are metallic ones, and some of them are really, really gorgeous. So for example, this one here, it's like a duochrome. And if someone is after a really sparkly or duochrome or special eyeshadow, I point them in this direction because they're like $5 or $6, and instead of spending like $20, $30 on a fancy single eyeshadow, you can like play around with beautiful colors and beautiful finishes in a really affordable way. So if you were like, I really want to try a bright blue eyeshadow, but I don't want to spend the money on a single pan, just buy like a Colourpop one and you can get some really beautiful shades. So these, once again, it's that kind of moussey finish. They're a little bit firmer than the highlighters, but you can see you can apply them with your finger and just pack them on, or you can definitely use a brush. There's no problem with using a brush with these. So these are my metallic ones. I've also got 2 satin ones that are sort of, they look sort of matte, but they do have a slight sheen in them. They apply really nicely. I've used them with blending brushes and they pick up well. It's they don't go on streaky. They apply just like a normal powder eyeshadow but without the kick up. I've also got a matte one, so I've got different finishes. Here are some of my ultra metallics. So I don't know what the difference between normal metallic and ultra metallic, but I've got some of those. But my personal favorite finish is actually the ultra glitter. So these are a little bit more fun. And they're a little bit more special. If you're after a glitter that doesn't fall out everywhere, then these are a really great way to do it because they're sort of jam-packed in this like moussey formula. They don't really go anywhere. They don't really fall out anywhere. You can use glitter glue to make them more intense, but you can get some beautiful shades in here. I'll swatch some of them. So I bought a 6-pack of these sort of duochrome color shifting ones. And this one is called New Magic. So it's a white that shifts sort of purple and blue. You won't see it on camera because color shift doesn't really pick up well on camera, but you can see that this is a green that goes kind of purple. It's got a pinky gold, like gold 1 minute and then like pink the next. That's beautiful. So if you just tap it on a look, gorgeous. In a corner, gorgeous. This one is Sleigh Bells. So this was a Christmas collection, I think, and that is like a red to gold. they're gorgeous. So once again, they're really, really, really beautiful. And they pack a lot of glitter, but it's not messy to apply. Ooh, Half Light. This is a fun one. So once again, it's almost like a green brown pigment. It's got a beautiful green and it's got like a burgundy purpley base. Really, really gorgeous with a glitter glue as well. Oh my God, it's magic. You can't see the magic that is this eyeshadow, but it is phenomenal. Another one that I really love, and this is from the Laura Lee collection. This one's called Ritz, and it is once again a glitter, but it almost is silver glitter suspended in like a beige base. So there's not much base color to it, but hang on, let's put it here. There's not much base color to it. It's just like a suspended silver glitter, and it's beautiful just tapped on the lid over any eyeshadow. It would be gorgeous. Or if you just want a really quick, like, put it on with your finger, just a wash of a bit of sparkle and a little bit of color, gorgeous. So these are really phenomenal. As long as you store them well and they don't dry out, you'll have them for years. So I just thought I'd zoom in on some of those so you can see how gorgeous they are. You can't see the like extent of the color shift, but trust me, they're more vibrant and beautiful in real life. But can you imagine just a wash of that all over the lid with some mascara? That is what I call everyday glitter. It's beautiful. That is beautiful. That, oh my God, is beautiful. So some of these are phenomenal, and they are much more affordable and much better than some of the sparkly duochrome eyeshadows or pigments that I've come across. Much neater to use as well. The next thing that I do recommend, and I often recommend over other similar lipsticks, are the Lippie Stix. So I keep these in a little thing. I'm sure I've got more of these floating around. I'm wearing one today, and these are, I'll grab them. So these are just like long lipsticks. I've actually got some double ups. I've got 2 of Brink. It's a good color. I've got 2 of Grunge. I often buy these in packs because you can often buy them in 5 or 6 packs reduced, and they're really, really great. But I'll often find these in my handbag because not only are the colors really nice and they're really easy to use, but also they're so like compact and easy to just put in a makeup bag. So these are like matte lipsticks, and they're very thin, so you can get them quite precise. And they're very affordable as well. So they're not, you don't get heaps of product in here. I think it's like 1 gram or, yeah, 1 gram of product, which is generally about 1/3 of a standard lipstick. This is similar to what you get in the Hourglass Confession Ultra Slim lipsticks. But once again, these are $5 or $6 each. They have great colors. I mainly go for nudes because, I don't know, I was in the mood when I was ordering them all. So I'll just swatch some of my favorites for you. But they do have different formulas. There's matte and there's matte X. I think there might be cream as well, but I only have the matte ones. But this is one called Click. And this is a bright, beautiful red. It's sort of like a dupe for MAC Lady Danger. You can see that it is very matte and also very pigmented. I love how small these are because you can really line your lips with them easily as well. Then a true nude that I really like is Brink. This is more of a mauvey sort of nude. And this one, like, they do vary the formula to formula. So these are both matte, but you can see one is a lot creamier and one is a bit drier. So it just depends on the formula and I guess how much pigmentation they need to put into it. Grunge is a really good sort of brown that I like to wear when I want a dark lip. It's really good in like autumn and winter. Once again, that's quite really smooth to apply. These do dry down a little bit, so if you have super dry lips, I would probably avoid the matte X ones, which are a little bit drier than the matte ones. But if you are fine with matte bullet lipsticks, these are fine. These are great. I find them really easy. And this is Chateau, which is the one that I'm wearing today, which is like a blackened cherry. So it is more matte. You can see off the bat it's more matte, doesn't have as much shine, but it applies really smoothly. It's really pigmented, and they're great lipsticks if you want an affordable lipstick. And once again, if you wanted to try a dark cherry red lip and you're like, oh, I don't want to spend heaps of money on it in case I'm not going to use it, you know, that is a gorgeous one. It's a really affordable way to try different colors. Okay, the last product that I want to talk about that I really am impressed by, and I think they're phasing these out, which is really sad. It's actually their gel eyeliners. So this is in Swerve, which is the black one. It's the cream gel color. So it just looks like that. I'm wearing it on my eyes today. It's a really, really black, really, really moussey gel liner, and I've used heaps of it. Like, I've nearly hit pan on that. And I find that it's never flaked off. It's never applied patchy. It lasts a long time. I've got it on my waterline as well, and it's perfectly fine. So I find these gel liners surprisingly fantastic for the price. The only ones, like, I think they're up there with the MAC ones. Like, MAC ones are hard because the colored ones generally aren't very pigmented, but the black one is really good. So it's up there with the black one. It's also up there with like the Inglot liners. Inglot liners are probably the best for, like, they're most budge proof and most pigmented, especially with the colored liners, but they dry out really quickly and you really need to rehydrate them often. This is just an easy to use. I haven't tried the colors, I've only tried the black, but I reach for this often and I've never had any problems with it. And I've had it for about a year and it is super good. Like, it just works really well. You could also get brow products like pomades in these little pots, and I heard they're really great too. So they did bring out a whole range of these gel liners as well as pencil liners, but the only one that I think is left on the website is this black one. So I don't know if they're keeping it or if they're phasing them out, I'm not sure, but it's a very, very, very good, affordable gel liner. And I know there's gonna be people going, but the Maybelline and the L'Oreal ones are great. No, 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 I threw those out because I turned to little bricks. This one's actually really good. So I don't recommend this over Inglot ones, but I think it is more like easy to use. It's a more user-friendly, everyday friendly, don't need to rehydrate it, don't need to babysit it. It's just really easy to use and super, super black and pigmented. If I had a brush, I would show you. I don't, so I might just grab some with my finger. So that's how black it is. It's a matte color as well, so it's super great. It's very, very moussey, so you could very easily apply that as a base to your eyeshadow as well if you wanted to. Oh, I want to test something. Okay, I've just got some of those Super Shock shadows, those glitter ones. Oh my god, and this is more of a burgundy gold. So it's got a burgundy base. It's the one I swatched before, and it's got a gold shimmer. So you can see that these, yeah. Alright, so those are the products that I recommend people check out, because in my experience and in my makeup collection, they are better than or just as good as some of my most expensive and higher end makeup. And these are the things that I actually have in, like, not in like makeup storage. They're easily accessible, so I can reach for them whenever I want. The only things I'm going to throw out probably in the future are those sparkly highlighters, but everything else, they're great and I love using them because they're very easy to apply, they're not messy, and you get some really great effects with the makeup. And it's just like using, you know, going to MAC and spending $300 on a glittery eyeshadow and lipsticks and this and this and this and this, but in reality, if you buy one of each, you're only spending like 20 bucks. So really good products. Next, I'm on to the products that are just sort of like, yeah, they're not bad, and you know, if you want to try them, go try them, but they're not my favorite. They're not my major picks from the range. Now, the first thing is the eyeshadow palettes. These are the pressed eyeshadow palettes. I've got 3 of them. They're all 12 pan eyeshadows and eyeshadow palettes, and I don't love them. So I got the My Little Pony one because it is gorgeous and it is like nostalgia. I loved the collab. Look how freaking cute it is. The colors are fun. They apply all right, but they aren't the most pigmented eyeshadows. They're not the most blendable eyeshadows. You really do need a good base, and if you're using the shimmery shades, you sort of really need, like, this one is gorgeous. This is similar to that Super Shock shadow I just put over the black, but this is sort of, it's like that in a pan version, a powder version. So nice colors, but you really do need like a glitter glue to make them like really stick and really pop. I also find, like, I've got one of this is the Femme Rosa She palette. So it's a collab with Karrueche K. Once again, it's got some nice colors in here, but they're just not they work and you can make them work, but they're not the most amazing quality. And I find that I kind of need to babysit them a little bit. Like, you do need to really gouge out some of the shimmery shades, pack them on with your finger, use glitter glue to make them stick properly, but they are nice shades and they're very affordable. So, you know, it is what it is. The one that I probably like the least is the Dream Street palette with Kathleen Lights. Had some really nice shades in here, and then some just didn't really pick up on the brush. Well, it picks up on the brush but doesn't apply on the eye, so you really need to go in and apply it with your finger. So yeah, if you just want a nice like selection of colors and you look at a palette and you're like, oh my god, I love it because it's so cute, or the colors in there really inspire me, they're not the worst thing in the world and you can make them work, but I personally wouldn't recommend them. I wouldn't say avoid them, but I wouldn't recommend them because I just feel like they're a little bit disappointing. The quality isn't quite there for me, and I would prefer to buy the Super Shock shadows. The next thing that I think are decent, but they're not my favorite, are the Ultra Satin Lips. So these are liquid lipsticks in sort of tubes, and these are a satin finish. So I've got some really beautiful nudes. I've got a really beautiful dark kind of red that is beautiful. I'm going to swatch it. So these are really nicely pigmented, really affordable, gorgeous color there. This Kathleen Lights red one is probably my favorite out of the bunch. You can see it here, just gorgeous colors, really vibrant, really nice, really affordable. And what I like about these is that they do settle and they are a matte sort of finish, but they're not really drying, and they're not 100% transfer proof, so they do settle down. They're a little bit transferable, but they're a lot more comfortable on the lips. They've got a huge range of shades. Here's like just some sort of, this is a gorgeous peachy nude from Kathleen Lights collection. Really beautiful shades, and I think that if you're going to go the liquid lip color, so not just a gloss but like a bold color, I would go the satin ones because they give you the matte finish, but they're a lot more comfortable. So I like those. They're not my favorite liquid lipstick formula, so I don't rave about them, but if you want to try some cool colors in an affordable way, these are a good way to do it. Another thing that I like, I've got a couple of them but I can only find one, the lip liners. So these are the Lippie Pencils, so similar to the Lippie Stix but pencils, and these are pretty much identical to the Kylie Jenner ones. So if you ever bought a Kylie Jenner lip kit, they're made in the same factory. They're pretty much identical, just different colored packaging. I think the Kylie ones are black, whereas these are white. This is a bright pink one. They're quite creamy. They're quite nicely pigmented. You do need to sharpen them. You can sharpen them, so you can sharpen plastic. And I think they're good. I don't particularly use a lot of lip liners often, and when I do, I use like one nude one all the time. So if you do want some like interesting colored lip liners, like I thought I'd get a bright pink because I don't have a bright pink lip liner. So if you got a few bucks and you want to try some different colored lip liners, it's a good way to do it. They are really nice quality, and yeah, there's a huge range of them as well. So also on the website, what I like is they will, if you wanted to buy like, I don't know, if you wanted to buy this, it will suggest what lip liner works with it. So it might not be the exact shade, but it will show you what's closest to it. So it's a nice little way to test out some of the lip liners to match some of the colors. So lip liners are good quality. I'm just not raving about them because I don't use them very often. The last thing that are decent quality, but I don't particularly use too often, are the metallic lips. So these are the ultra metallic lips. So we had the ultra satin lip, the ultra glossy lip, and ultra metallic. Now I've got two here. One is in Zebra, which is this kind of purpley shade. It's kind of a purpley brown. You can see it's quite nice. These do settle down. And then this one is more of a rose gold, and it's in Glam, and that was in this was from the Laura Lee pack. And this is more of a beautiful rose gold. So if you do want metallic lips, they do have them, and they're a nice sort of moussey formula that does settle down. They're not super long wearing, but I don't mind these for like just tapping on top of a lip look. Like for example, I might actually use Zebra. I haven't used this in ages. If you want to just like Wow, this actually is a nice color combination. I don't hate it. So if you want to just like, so if you just want to add some like metallic to a matte look, it's a nice way to do it. I personally don't love metallic lips, so I don't buy them often. So if you wanted affordable ones with a nice color range, check them out. Otherwise, yeah, don't check them out. All right, on to the two products that I've tried in the range that I generally wouldn't recommend to people. The first is probably some of their most popular lip products, and it's Ultra Matte Lip. So these are the matte lipsticks, and I did have a couple that I hated. I bought a neon pink, a neon sort of like coral color. They were really, or neon red. They were really gorgeous, but they literally were like desert lips. When I would talk, they'd like flake off. They were so dry and horrible. Some of these aren't too bad. I find the nudes perform better than the really bright colors, but I think it's really hit and miss with the formula. So I do have a bunch of these matte ones, which are more true mattes. They dry down a lot more matte than the satins. They give the same sort of effect, so I don't know why people bother with the matte ones when the satin ones are a lot more comfortable. But this is a gorgeous color. This is in Creeper, so you can see they're very like pigmented and really nice. This one is in Tulle. So there you go. So they do have really nice colors, a huge variety of colors. They also bring out limited edition ones. So I bought these because they're the My Little Pony ones. I've got Lemon Drop and Moon Dancer. So these are both like purple colors. This is like a dark, beautiful vampy purple, gorgeous. And then this one is more of like a mauve, which I think is fun as well. So there you go. So super nice pigmentation, and they do dry down very matte. I just find that they're hit and miss depending on the shade. So you can buy them if you really like a really dry matte lip, but you might be taking a bit of a gamble depending on the shade you buy. All right, the last products that I would not recommend from Colourpop are the Supernova Shadows. Now these are sort of like Stila, Glitter and Glow, Magnificent Metal type things. And I got the first 5 that were released. I was expecting great things, and the colors are quite nice, but I don't love them. So this is a gold, for example. And even though, you know, you apply it, and if you apply it just directly like that, it looks really intense, and it'd be a great thing just to put on like the inner corner. But I find that these are very patchy and very flaky. So these have the tendency to want to look like they kind of flake off the eye, and if you're moving your eyes too much, they will kind of crumble. So they're not as like bold, and no, they're not as like gripping to the eye as the Stila ones. I still think the Stila ones are better. Look at the Stila ones are better to invest in, but I like appreciate having more affordable options. I just didn't like these. I also find that with these ones, I tried once to sort of put it on and sort of blend it out, and it was patchy. It was not good. So that is a gorgeous color though. Holy shit. So I would recommend these if you just want a little pop of color and you're happy just to put it on your finger and like tap it on slightly. Yeah, maybe give them a go. But if you wanted a full like beautiful glittery eye look, these don't cut it, and I think it's definitely worthwhile to either go for a glittery eyeshadow like the Super Shock Shadows, or even invest in like a Stila one, because those are kind of really glittery and really intense, but they stay put and they don't crumble and look as like, these emphasize like skin like folds and stuff on your eye. They look gorgeous, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, oh my god, they look rad, but they dry down and they're just not the best wearing. So don't love them. I do have to say though that these are the first that they released, so the first 5. I'm gonna swatch the last one for good measure, and since then they have released a bunch more. And I know that what they do is they'll release products on the market. This is beautiful as well, gorgeous. They'll release products on the market that are sort of like a new formula, then they'll gauge people's reaction to it, and then they'll tweak it. So these might be particularly crap because they were the first ones released and maybe they've improved the formula since. But I personally don't want to take a gamble trying out the more recent ones. And I'd only recommend these if you really wanted a particular shade. Like my favorite here is definitely that red shade there. If you were like, I need that shade and I've been looking for something like that everywhere, sure, buy it. But you know, they don't work as well as I was hoping them to. But look at them, they do look quite nice. But if you do blend them out, no, that one's already dry. If you do blend them out, they are a little bit patchy. Wait, I'll try that better, hang on. Yeah, if you blend it out, they do kind of look a bit patchy and a bit chunky, if you can see. They're not the nicest. See, what is that? Just doesn't apply really smoothly. It kind of loses its, I don't know. I don't love them. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. Give it a thumbs up if you did. If you want to see more like brand collection videos, let me know what brands. I have a lot of Colourpop because they're so affordable, and when you're buying products that are like $5 US and you're trying to get up to like $50 US for shipping, you just keep like add, like you need 10 things in your cart to get free shipping. So every time I place an order for something, I buy a lot, which is why I've got so much Colourpop. Most brands, like other brands that are more expensive, I don't have this amount of product of, but I'm happy to do more recaps of what I would recommend and what I would avoid from certain brands, as long as I've got enough products to talk about. But you know, yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.